Marina is a strong, compassionate advocate for her patients and coworkers, no matter where she is assigned on a particular shift. She takes a holistic approach to nursing, treating the whole person and not just a set of symptoms. And that's incredibly hard for a float pool nurse to do. Marina impacted one patient's life late one Friday evening. He had come into the very busy ER with severe leg pain. After some time, he decided not to wait any longer for the physician to come and assess him. Concerned that the man had a deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, Marina sought out the physician and gave him her assessment. The doctor still had to finish working on another case, but agreed to see Marina's patient as soon as he could. When she went back and explained her concerns to the patient, that it may be dangerous for him to wait until Monday to see his regular doctor, he agreed to stay. The man did have a DVT, and through his surgery, recovery, and outpatient follow-up, he has seen Marina about 10 more times. Every time, he reminds her that if it hadn't been for her, he would have lost his leg. He will never forget the time she spent with him, explaining the importance of staying at the ER that night. For another patient, a coworker who was worried about her own DVT procedure in the cath lab, Marina took the time to find an article from a vascular medical journal to reassure her. In fact, it turned out to be written by the same vascular surgeon who worked on the much-relieved patient. That was good sleuthing. In another case, Marina made a huge difference in the life of a dying patient and his family. A do not resuscitate patient, this man's condition worsened around midnight one night, and he told Marina that he thought he was dying. As she took his hand and vowed to stay with him, she learned that he wanted to call his family to be there with him. When she couldn't get hold of the family, she contacted St. Joseph's Security, which in turn called HPD, to ask that someone go to the house and wake the family up. Resourceful. That's good. As a result, they were able to be with their father when he died, an outcome of immeasurable value to all of them. Marina is also a great supporter of her colleagues. Marina made a real difference for a newer staff nurse who had made a middle-of-the-night call to a doctor when a patient's status changed. When the physician came to the bedside, he spoke rudely to the new nurse. He also told Marina that he didn't believe she would have called him. After reviewing the chart, Marina clarified that she definitely would have called him because the clinical data showed clearly the patient was going into acute renal failure and needed quick intervention. This support reinforced to the newer nurse the importance of keeping the doctor informed of significant changes in a patient's condition in order to achieve a positive outcome. Marina never hesitates to do all she can to ensure a patient's high-quality care. A perennial student, she's continually building on her very strong knowledge base to provide this care and is an asset to St. Joseph's and to the nursing community as a whole. Marina, we salute you. Congratulations and keep going.
Well, I little did I know this is what I was going to be when I grew up. But I tell people it wasn't until I grew up that I look back at my childhood. All my dolls were sick. And that is a true story. I'm not making that up. All my dolls were sick. I used to write little prescription bottles for them. They're little armbands. And one year I remember I had a doll that I had gotten for Christmas. And for a whole year my doll was in an incubator. I was not a sickly kid. I was very healthy. I don't know why all my dolls were sick. But I think it was just inborn. You know, my mom was a nurse in Mexico, and she always would have liked to have been a nurse here, but that wasn't the case. She didn't push me for it. I just think it was just in me, you know. And then just my every day that I go to work is a different thing. I hate monotony. I like working in the ER. I like the challenge. I don't like having to be at that high pace all the time. I like working in the ICU where you have a little bit more time spent with the patient and the family. It's also critical. But sometimes I like to be a little bit more laid back with the patients that are not as sick. So from that aspect, I love the float pool. I love the people I work with my flexible job schedule. Because my husband's a fireman, you know, his days are not always the same days that he's on or off. and that just enables us to spend time with the kids. The biggest reward that I get as a nurse is at the end of my shift. Usually when the patient can smile and feel more at ease with what is going on with them, because I can tell the tension a lot when patients are newly diagnosed with something or they're having to have some procedure. Again, I talk a lot to my patients, and that's one of the things that I always try to bring on, feel more comfortable and not as scared. One of my things has always been, for example, when I used to work in the telemetry floor, even wherever I work, but on the telemetry floor, I used to be pretty consistent on that floor. And I used to always get a kick out of my patients coming out of ICU, and they're all stiff. They can't move, they're hurting. And then you're telling them all these things that they're going to have to do in the next couple of days so they can get better, so they don't get any complications, pulmonary or, all sorts of stuff can go wrong. But then you start seeing the gradual increase, like towards the third day, they're already walking around, doing on their little wheelchair, smiling, and like no big deal. Seeing that transition has always made me like I've done my job.